All right, so in-text citations, when you are writing research, can be sticky. And so I wanted to give you a little video to review some of the stuff that you have already been taught in class. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is a direct quote from a book. Your in-text citation is going to come at the end of your quotation. So if you say, according to research, comma, then you have your quotation marks, like this right here. And then you can see that you have, in parentheses, after that quotation mark, you've got your end quotes, then you've got your parentheses that has the last name and the page number. Notice the period comes after the parentheses is done, and there's no comma between the last name and the page number. If you are giving a direct quote from an article, you will do the same thing. If there is a page number given, you will put the page number in. If a page number is not given, then you don't need to worry about it. You just put the last name. If there is no last name given, because sometimes when you have an article, especially one that you got online, it will not give an author. If that is the case, then in parentheses at the end, you will put the name of the article in quotation marks, and then in parentheses after your quote, like this right here. And notice that the period comes after the parentheses. So that's how you do a direct quote. Also, on a side note with the direct quote, make sure that if you are choosing something to quote directly in your paper, that it is because the information is so specific and succinct, so concise, so well worded that you really should use a quote. Now, if you're just quoting something like, his mom said Michael used to practice basketball in the driveway all the time, that is really not a significant quote. Okay, it's really not. Of course he had to practice. He's an NBA all-star. If you are doing a paraphrase, then you're not going to have a direct quotation, because a paraphrase by definition is you putting the quotes into your own words. So you don't need quotation marks, but you still need an in-text citation. So if it's a book, the last name of the author goes in parentheses after you give the information. So you would say something like, according to the book, yada yada huda hada, whatever it's called. Give the information that you got from that source, and then put the parentheses afterwards. No page number, period, after the parentheses. If you are paraphrasing from an article, again, no page number needed. Last name of the author comes after the information. And if there is no author, then you put the title of the article in parentheses after the information is given. Again, period at the end after your parentheses. There are some little tweaks here that you need to know. So what if we're dealing with multiple authors? If you have a book and it's multiple authors, then you need to put the names of both authors by how they are presented on the book. So take a look at the book. Whatever author is mentioned first, their last name appears first in the in-text citation. If a page number is given for a direct quote, you put the page number in there as well, just like I have here. With no commas, and spell out the word "and." If there are more than two authors, you do it like this. If you are doing an article with multiple authors, it's the same thing. Okay, what if there are multiple pages? So you didn't just get the information or the quotes from one page, because maybe you have like the ellipses, you know, the dot, 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 and you want to include information from pages 4 and 9 and 15, then it would say in parentheses, Bart and Smith. It would be 4, 15, 60 with no "and" in there. What if there's a long quote? Well, if you're typing out a quote and that quote is lasting more than 4 typed lines, then you got to follow some specific rules. First of all, the part of the essay leading up to the quote, you're going to have a colon there to let us know that the quote is coming. Second of all, you will not put quotations around your direct quote because you are going to tab it over. So you hit return and then you hit tab, and all of it is going to be lined up at the tab. It will continue to be double spaced. And after the quotation is done, the long quote, then you put a period at the end of the quote, and then your parentheses with your last name and page number, end parentheses, and then no extra period on the end, which is very unsettling, but it's legit. I looked it up. All right. Last but not least, if you have a repeated source that you're using in the same paragraph, so let's say that you are quoting from a book and the author's name is Sundquist, and you give a quote by Sundquist, and then you cite it, Sundquist 30, and then a few sentences later you have another example from Sundquist from page 45. You could just put 45 in parentheses. You do not need to use Sundquist again. However, that is only if you have no other sources in between that first one and second one. So if you have a source from another author, then you need to reiterate the author's name within that same paragraph. If you're stuck on anything, go back, check it out again. Thanks, bye.